For a long time, the people of Niger have complained about the fact that, almost always, it is foreign companies that take the lion's share in the exploitation of the country's natural resources and minerals, granting only paltry profits to the state, and thus keeping the country in perpetual poverty, courtesy of the flawed contracts that previous leaders signed with those foreign companies. However, the military junta, under the leadership of General Abdourahmane Tchiani, is changing all that, to see into it that Niger's wealth benefits Nigerians, and not foreign multinationals, and for this reason, the government has made a historic move to take the control of its oil and gas from the hands of foreign companies and place it under state control. We say this because, on March 3, 2024, Niger's Council of Ministers adopted 2 decrees that approved the involvement of the Nigerien Petroleum Company, that is locally known as Sonidep, in the exploration, exploitation, production, refining and marketing of the country's oil, giving the state much more control and an active role in the Niger oil and gas sector. The first decree concerns oil blocks in Agadem area, where we have 3 oil wells, that is R5, R6 and R7, while the second decree is linked to the Bilma oil block, whose proven reserves have the potential to earn Niger billions of dollars every year, especially at this time when the country has launched the biggest oil pipeline in Africa, that pumps oil from Agadem to Benin. The decrees will see Nigerians take over the control from the Chinese, who were running the show, under the mighty China National Petroleum Corporation, popularly known as CNPC. While reacting to the new historic developments, the Sonidep General Director, Colonel Ali Saibu Hassan, said that it was necessary for the CNSP to make that critical decision, which was the most patriotic and urgent thing to do, and without saying much, take a listen at him express his optimism about the future of Niger's oil sector here. This is a very high-profile decision. I said earlier that you see, people are judged according to their leaders, and it is necessary to have leaders of a country to make certain historical decisions, as gatekeepers of the country, and that was the case. I give thanks to God for the effort that was made by the CNSP, headed by His Excellency General Abdourahmane Tchiani, who agreed to move in this direction.
General Abdourahmane Tchiani qui a accepté d'aller dans ce sens. Vous voyez partout au monde.
You see, oil companies all over the world, as long as there is oil there, and as soon as production has started, the oil companies are given the scope of their control and ownership.
C'est un éveil patriotique.
It is a patriotic awakening, which was proclaimed a long time ago, and which was proclaimed after the events of July 26 throughout the city of Niamey, in this country, with this just being a highlight of them all, and we had to carry out this festive activities to get to this event. It is a grandiose and very major event, and those who are truly in the field of oil know the golden rule of what was supposed to be done. About the expertise, we are talking about it, it can be bought, it can be rented, and it is up to us to use our good conscience, to look for financial and technical partners to support us.
Notre offensive, chercher les partenaires financiers et techniques pour nous accompagner. Tout le monde s'est fait accompagner.
Everyone has been supported at some point, and as we move in this direction, these partners are going to stay around, for us to be able to talk about modalities, because if there is something that will benefit the people, we cannot rule it out.
Donner des strapontins aux Nigériens. Ça, c'est à écarter. On est dans une autre dynamique.
We are in another dynamic, where it is Niger first. And it is not always good for a country to take itself hostage. It is not good.
Je n'ai rien contre ces partenaires. Nos partenaires, ils sont très bien. Ils nous ont aidé à produire.
I have nothing against these partners. Our partners are very good. They helped us to produce, and thus we will perhaps continue to work with them on other aspects, and if there are aspects on which we will ask for their expertise, we will work with them, but there are aspects on which we will put our attention elsewhere. But if there is a financial and technical partner who must work with us, there must be a well-thought contract or policy to guide us through the same, and it's possible. The state has invested in human resources, At the level of the Ministry of Oil, there are engineers, and they are ready to come and support us, and the request has been made, so this will be the case.
Avec le titre d'opérateur national,
With the title of national operator, I think that Sonidep will have the possibility of coming to the field, and we need an act for Sonidep to sell in the name of the state of Niger, because until then, it won't.
la Sonidep va vendre au nom de l'État du Niger.
Sonidep will also have to be a party to the transportation or supply contract. That will allow us to be ahead of our partners, who today have monopoly in this matter.
Ça nous permettra d'être en face du partenaire qui a la majorité dans cette affaire-là. Tant que ces conditions ne sont pas remplies, nous, Sonidep, on se présenterait en face de la CNPC.
As long as these conditions are not met, we will be dependent on CNPC, and worse is that CNPC does not recognize us, which is now CPP, that's China Petroleum Pipeline.
Or, dans le domaine du pétrole, partout au monde,
But in the field of oil, all over the world, and everywhere in the world, it is the company in that society that manages activities.
grandes compagnies de pétrole, quand ils se présentent dans un pays,
Even big oil companies, when they approach a country, the first thing that they look for in the country is the company in charge of hydrocarbon activities.
bon,
Well, perhaps it is because of the flaws which were there. But today, all this has been corrected, though it must be accompanied by legislation.
que ça soit accompagné par des textes.
Granting the Nigerien Petroleum Company responsibility to be the national operator of these lucrative projects reflects the ambition of General Tchiani's administration to strengthen, in accordance with the law, the participation of the state in the research, exploration and exploitation of oil and gas, for the benefit of the people of Niger. It should be noted that this is the first time, since the creation of the Nigerien Petroleum Company 1977, that it has obtained this status, as operator of oil and gas, in which it will be responsible for the exploration, exploitation and management of the petroleum sector, in terms of supervision and coordination of activities. Prior to the adoption of the decrees, the Nigerien Petroleum Company only played a role in marketing of petroleum products, particularly those coming from the Zinda Refining Company, but never had any significant control over the exploration, exploitation or revenues of the country's oil and gas, since the same were under the control of foreign companies. It's also worth noting that, for years, the exploitation of Niger's key mineral, that is uranium, was being done by a French company. But for that period, Niger benefited almost nothing from this resource, which is nevertheless strategic, and with which France has been able to position itself in Europe, and even on a global level, as a leader in civil nuclear energy. It is the same for gold, where, after having made Nigerians dream of being rich from the gold, after several years of exploitation in Samira, nothing of significant value was realized by Nigerians from the precious metal, and the mining brought nothing to the country, to change the lives of the people. Anyway, if you found this video to be interesting, leave a comment on Niger, and don't forget to subscribe because more updates on the Sahel region are coming.